good afternoon, guys. Once again, meeting on the other side. So far, we have finished a couple of units. We've done with meaning, scope, and characteristics, as well as skills of a leader. Having touched upon all these, we have almost touched on some basic aspects of leadership. And further from here, almost everything will be sounding like repeated, but then those some of the aspects are put together into one bundle, and we give them a heading, and we discuss as per that heading. So now we will go into a debate which has been there for a very long time, for ages, I should say, is about leader and a manager. For a layperson on the street, I don't think they would find any difference between a leader and a manager. But for a professional, it's important to understand the slight nuance between a leader and manager, because once you understand this nuance, then you will understand that the roles and the responsibilities of the leader is a little bit different than manager. Sometimes it overlaps, but sometimes it is quite distinct, in the sense that a leader is a larger than life figure. A manager is someone who functions within that leader's ambit. If you can get this picture, I think it will be very clear to you that what is the difference between a leader and a manager. So we proceed from here and see basically is the difference between a leader and a manager. People often use the terms leader and manager interchangeably. Both are important for the success and the survival of the organization. Without the leader, a manager cannot function. Without a manager, a leader cannot function. A leader may function, but for some time. But if the organization has to grow, then he has to have managers working for him, or he must function like a manager. But if you see, the way they approach their jobs are different. The way they function are different. The way their roles are structured are different. So when you understand this very well, then it's very easy for you to know what you are supposed to do in daily life, tomorrow, 5 years down the line. So let's dive directly into that deep end of the swimming pool of a leader and a manager. So who is a leader? A leader is someone who inspires, motivates, guides others to a vision. Now, if you look at a manager at the same time, then a manager plans, organizes, coordinates resources to ensure a task is accomplished. Now you see both of these side by side. A leader is someone who has developed himself with a vision, and with this vision he inspires his people to reach that goal. But a manager is given the task of achieving this vision on a day-to-day basis. So he has to coordinate resources, coordinate people, make plans, have goals and objectives, maybe months to month down the line or year to year down the line, and then check whether how far these goals have been met. So the manager actually executes the leader dreams. So if you look further, leadership is about influencing people. A leader stands tall. You see the way they give speech. It's a firebrand leader. Why is called a firebrand leader? Because he spews fire through his words and it energizes people. But a manager cannot just stand and give a speech and people will listen. A manager has to have the administrative authority, the power to implement what is supposed to be done and dreamt by the leader on a day-to-day basis. So manager has to have administrative powers. If manager has no administrative power, I think no one will care for him. At least he should have the power to fire you or cut your salary. So when you go further, we'll see that this debate, under what context do we have this debate? What really defines this debate? So we'll see from a leader's side, it emphasizes long-term goals. See, in the previous slide, you spoke about a vision. So vision is not like tomorrow, where are we going to do? It's like 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, where you want your company, your organization to be. So leader emphasizes goals. And what does a manager do? Manager focuses on short-term achievement of the goals. Suppose there is a goal which is set. We have to reach a sales target or a student strength of our college to say 1,000, and now it's just 100. So in maybe 2 years time or 3 years time. So what will the manager do? The manager's job or the principal's job would be to make sure that at least in the next year they have 300, then in the coming year 300, and the next coming year 300. So around you will have 1,000 as target. So every year he will target at least addition of 100 students to his or her classes. So that's how that context of leader and manager plays out. So a leader functions best in uncertain and evolving environments. For example, now he has set up a school, suppose in a green belt area where there are hardly any schools. Then what happens is, then he is in an uncharted territory, but still he will take the risk, and he will, you can say, he will dream about not only building a school but a group of schools. So is uncertain. So no, but for manager, his routine is structured. Once that school has been set up, it's a big risk the leader has taken, and he likes to play in uncertain fields. But the manager, the building is set up. Now it is his job to see how it is filled, how the classes are run, how the teachers are appointed, or how the teachers are managed, how the work is managed day to day, year to year. So his job is very structured. So now we will go into another aspect and see that what happens, how does the roles of these leaders and managers differ. See, if the context under which they operate differ is basically there is a difference between who is a leader, who is a manager, then definitely their roles will also differ. But again, the roles will sound repetitive to what we are discussing about the basic aspect of the differences. But academically, it's good to actually know and define that and see for ourselves that the roles are really different, in the sense that now if you say what is the role of a leader, the role of a leader is to motivate his people, because he has a dream, the followers have joined him, and now he has to take them somewhere. So in that case, then he has to motivate people. Suppose a school decides that they have to go digital, then what will happen is they have to make sure that everyone is in on that. Maybe there will be people who are almost retirement age. They would not like to do all the digital work and click here, click there, fill here, fill there, drop down menu and all that, because they know the work by heart. So they take the paper, fill the form, within 2 minutes the work is done. But now here it takes half an hour for them. Maybe who is digital savvy, he can finish it in maybe 2-3 minutes. So if a leader is inspiring, they love the leader, they respect the leader, then it may be difficult, but still the people will say, okay, we will try, and if they try it with an open heart and open mind, maybe those 30 minutes will turn to 5-10 minutes in a very short while. If not, then it will always remain 30, maybe it'll go to 1 hour. So he provides a vision and a purpose. The drive to reach somewhere is given by the leader. And what does a manager do? Manager sets plans and timelines and education. Depending on the goals set by the leader, the manager has to set the objective, a short-term goal, how to do, where to do, why to do, and all these questions he has to answer: the resources, the people, everything. So he has to set the plans and timelines and allocate resources. Then next role, if you see, of a leader is to build a culture and values. Because see, when the leader is building an institution, he would like to have some kind of color to that organization which reflects to his values, to what he has in mind, to build that culture. For example, a leader wants the organization to be a country centric. So he would want, so for example, an education institution, he will want a lot of culture to be celebrated. Maybe on the walls there will be pictures and drawings and everything regarding the culture and all that. And he will always welcome innovation. He will support innovation. He'll encourage innovation. And it is a must for a 21st century leader. 100 years ago, maybe it would not be very necessary. Today, you can't survive with innovation. So the leader has to innovate. But a manager cannot think of innovation, because the innovation is once again uncharted territory. The manager has to show results day to day, month to month, year to year. So there is no much room for innovation and taking risks. So manager has to make sure all rules are being ensures compliance. Everything has to followed to the T. Maybe some leeway is there, but manager cannot go outside outside the limit set by the leader, and he has to monitor performance. A leader may not monitor performance on a day-to-day basis. He may know where the organization is going when he has a meeting 6 months, 1 year down the line. But a leader has to do, a manager has to do that maybe every month, as to what is happening with the teachers, or how much learning has taken place, and where the organization is going, how the exam results, and so on. So he's on his toes almost every day. So that is a big difference between a leader and a manager. So now we once again go back and see that we have finished with the role part. Okay, what is the roles of the manager? Now let's see if we have to really see that if this is the role, then what are the final responsibilities? Role to define kiya, but final घर के अंदर what will be his responsibilities? His responsibility, because he is dreaming a vision, his role is to motivate people about the vision. Then in the end, his responsibility will be to communicate these visions, communicate his dreams, to give the fire and the spirit for the people to work towards his dream. But he cannot do without communicating that. He has to manage stakeholders, because you see, he's in his organization, maybe there are several investors, several trustees. There is educational board. Maybe there's the government who is involved. So he has to manage all of them so that they are on board and online with his dream. Everyone believes in his dream. Everyone agrees to it. Everyone agrees to fund it. Because if the investors stop funding, he cannot go ahead. So he has to be very careful, and he has to manage the stakeholders. The teachers and the staff are also stakeholders, but major management he does is those outside stakeholders. Inside stakeholders, the manager will take care. Meeting targets, coordinating teams. So there are stakeholders, but they are inside stakeholders. So the manager will be handling those inside stakeholders, and he will be handling like repeatedly I've said, the day-to-day job. He will coordinate with the teams. He will see who is doing what, and if there is a need to change, how about the office staff, and so on. So the next is the ownership of goals and change and uncertainty. See, so the responsibility will be of the leader, will the ownership of at the end of maybe 3 years, 5 years, if the goals are not met, he cannot shout at the manager, because that is his responsibility. Every year, every 6 months, how he is charting the the management of that goal based on what feedback the manager is giving. It is his job. It is not the manager's job. And every time there is a change and uncertainty, how to do, it is his job. For example, when there was COVID, the school principal per se could not make a big decision what to do. The school management, the trustees, the owners would sit together and say, look, now what we have to do. Okay, we have to have those online classes, but where is the infrastructure? Then you have to provide the infrastructure for the online classes. Maybe you would pay or have some funds for the teachers to get those equipment like phones and laptops and all. Maybe some students don't have the phones and laptops. They are sometimes in Bombay you would have seen they are too poor. So how to arrange second-hand phones and second-hand laptops for these students? So all this the leaders have to manage. The manager coordinates these things, but really it falls on the leader. And like then manager job is, once the leader has set the goals and he's trying to if there is uncertainty, he's trying to manage that. Then based on the budgets that is allowed, then he will manage that, and he will manage the logistics. Again, coming back to the COVID situation, then you'll have to see who is getting what, are the laptops reaching the people, are the phone reaching the people, is the money reaching the people, and how are the lessons being conducted. Then every time we'll be reporting the progress. Okay, so many people have access to internet, have access to the laptops, and some people are missing. Then how to handle with them? So many issues. But the day-to-day handling of the issues, the manager will handle. So you see how the roles reflect into the responsibilities of a leader or a manager. So now, having said that, we will generally try to have a overall view as to like we can say we have a cheat sheet of whatever we discussed so far, and we'll quickly go through that cheat sheet. What we can say over here is, a leader innovates and develops. From whatever we have discussed right now, his basic role as a dreamer is to innovate things, is to dream, is to develop things. But compared to that, the manager has to administer those things which has been innovated and which he is dreaming, and maintains them. Now, suppose the leader is developing a new kind of teaching method and is trying to put it in practice. Then the job of the manager or the principal is to make sure that this new teaching method is being implemented, and whether it's successful or not, or what changes we have to make and how to administer it. That is all the job of the manager. Now you look and once again at the leader, focus on the people and challenges reality. So as a leader, his job is to being a leader, he is part of his followers. So people in general will be part of his life. It's not that managers are not connected with people, but generally it is the people he is connected with, and he challenges reality, because in the beginning we said he innovates, develop. When you innovate and when you develop, what are you doing? You are changing the reality which is there into a new one. So he challenges reality. And what does the manager do? Manager accepts reality, whatever that has been decided by the leader or put forth by the leader on the table. The manager has not very big scope to challenge it. So he has to accept it and see how it plays. So then what he does is, whatever has been dreamt and challenged by or innovated by the leader, he has to make sure what systems can be put into put into practice or put into place, so that we can achieve the dream of the leader. So you inspires trust and long range perspective. Again, if you are dreaming, if you are a vision, then your perspective must be long range. It can't be short range. And when you are going on a long range trip, the people with you must really trust you. Now, Elon Musk is thinking of having life on Mars. So if you're sending someone to Mars, then they must really trust you. Otherwise, it's their life is at stake. It is an extreme example, but just to give you an idea and make a light of the serious job. relies on control and short range view. So he inspires trust, but he cannot run the organization on trust. A manager can't do that. He has to have control. He has to have that power and authority in his hands, where the people not fear, but they know that no, they are supposed to do the job. Others maybe they'll get fired, or maybe they will lose their salary or any perks and all that. So that has to be there. And he works on short time range, like in like for a school or a college. Okay, in this unit or in this term, what is the exam results, or in this year how many admissions they have been able to get, or how many courses, new courses they have been able to set up and all that. So these are short term ranges. uh, a leader definitely asks what and why, means why we want to do this, what are we going to do this, what are we going to be in 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. These are the basic questions the leader asks. If a 10 crore investment is required, then he has to ask the question why we require 10 crores. Can we do it in 5 crores? Can we do it in 2 crores? So these are the questions. And leader originates. What does the manager do? Manager does not ask when and why. He asks how can we do it. So if he has been given an instruction that you have to take this college to this level, then he will think that how to do it, and then when to do it, how quickly we will achieve it, whether we'll achieve it in 3 years, 5 years, can we do it in 1 year. So that is a manager's job. Leader originates, but manager imitates, because he has to imitate, because he is working within the boundaries that leader has set. So you can view as imitation. Having said that, we have finished with the cheat sheet. Now we will just summarize and conclude this session, having had at least some concrete idea about the differences between a leader and a manager with respect to roles, responsibilities, aspects, and all that. So now let's look, as a concluding statement. We can just read through that and say that leaders and managers are not opposites. You see, you cannot say that they are working in a totally different field. They are working the same field. They are complementary to each other, although they are different. So they are the leaders bring vision, inspiration, change, while managers bring structure, organization, and reliability and day-to-day working. The leader will be not involved, and he'll be involved in the broader aspects of the running of the organization. Both are necessary for success in education, industry, anywhere. For example, you take for a family. The head of the family, suppose the father. Nowadays, he is the mother also, depending on who is earning more. The head of the family will decide that okay, what are we going to in the next 5 years. Maybe they are living in a small house, so they will plan for a big house. How to do, how to save, and which area to go. Should we live in this area? Should we go? So, and the other people in the home, maybe they are grown up children, or maybe the husband or the wife or others who are contributing. Then they'll work around that idea, and he will be doing all the guiding of it. And now, finally, for as I said in the beginning. Understanding the slight difference between the leader and a manager is very important for a 21st century professional, because today the competition is very, very tough, and the changes that happen in society are so quick. So if you don't know this role of yourself very clearly, then there is always a chance that you will have a misstep, or the manager will be behaving like a leader, changing the policies of the organization, and the leader may not dream long, and day to day sab chalta hai, and the managers or the staff will not know where the organization is going. If the people are not very, very aggressive and not very skillful, they will just stick around and say chalta hai, सैलरी तो मिल रहा है, काम चल रहा है. And those who are aggressive and skillful and professional drive is there in them, they will leave the organization. So it's not going to be good for the organization. So That's why understanding the difference between the leader and a manager is very important for a 21st century professional, and because that defines the kind of roles they will play, the kind of responsibilities they have, the kind of functions they will have, and how they can coordinate with each other. So, having said that, we'll end this episode here and then meet further into the kind of leaderships that emerge after having spoken about, the difference between leaders and managers, the characteristics, the skills, and all that. Now we'll go that, okay, now we know this is the leader, this is the manager, but are all leaders the same, or are they different? Under what conditions they operate as what? So we will go into the different kinds of leadership and what defines them ultimately, under those heads, how these leaders operate, and the theories behind that, and the models behind that. So see you on the other side, and have a nice day. Take care. Bye.